Hey everyone, welcome to Live with Prima. Hopefully our camera will work now. This is our Opal Magic paint show, and we're also going to work with a Birdcage if we ever get our camera situated. So Ustream, I know we had some issues last week, so there are a bunch of us that have been having problems with the resolution and the focus. I have a brand new webcam, so it shouldn't be that. If I do go out of focus, just give me a holler and Delana will call or text me. So what I have in front of me are the 8 Opal Magic colors. These are Art Alchemy paints by Finnaver. They are new to us in January, so they've just started shipping to stores and people are starting to get them. I am recording. I think we're good to go. It's on autofocus, so if I move at all, it may move a little. So we're going to go ahead and introduce the paints and then get as much of the project done as possible. Okay, and I apologize for this. Sometimes technical issues are just frustrating for everybody. I am so sorry about that. Okay, so let's dig out some paintbrushes. We're going to open up some of these. Let's go ahead. It doesn't really matter. This is Aqua Rose. I'm almost afraid to move because of the camera and the problems we've been having. So when you open them up, they have a really cool iridescent shimmer to them. They do have a protective seal. I have opened up all of mine. You know, I had paper towel down, but it's screwing up the focus. And I don't want to really paint my whole mat, but what I'm going to do is go ahead and just paint a little sliver of this. It's really pigmented and it could be blown out. I'll try and get a little bit closer here. This is the rose gold. Is that what? No, it wasn't. It was the Aqua Rose. So you can see it's a very pretty light pink rose. What we're going to do now is take this very same color and we're going to apply it to the black. And what you're going to see is the magic in this Opal Magic paint. It's amazing. I got a little bit too much there on the side. On white, it is a rosy pink, and these are shimmery. On black, you get that amazing blue. Is that not the coolest thing ever? So that's where the Opal Magic comes in. What we're going to do is go ahead and try a couple more colors, and then that was Aqua Rose. So let's go ahead and try the Violet Gold. This is really, really cool. And it does come sealed, so you see some of my new ones I haven't used yet. There is a lot in the jar of paint, and it covers really well. I was impressed with the coverage of these acrylic paints. So here we have like a lavender shimmer, very pretty. And that's the thing, if you like pastels, these are so beautiful and soft on a white surface. But you get a totally different look when you put it on a black surface. So this is just a tag that I put black gesso on, and you can see the difference you get. Took the same, I didn't even re-dip that brush, I just painted on white and then I painted on black. So these are the Opal Magics. The first one was Aqua Rose. This one is Violet Gold. Most of the names tell you, like the first name Violet, that's the color it's going to be on white. And the second name will tell you what color it will be on black. But our very first one, it was switched. And I don't know if I got a prototype bottle, because I work for Prima, so sometimes I get prototypes. It could have been a prototype where the name was switched. Most of the time, it's going to tell you the color on the white first and on black second, okay? Yeah. And it would be my luck today of all days to get one of those that was switched, right? So, and I'm thinking that's what it is, because it has a different colored label on top too. So I think it's a prototype. I think when you get it, your first name is going to be what it's going to be on white, and the second name will be what it is on black. This is beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. This is a really soft, shimmery green. Love, love, love this. This is one of my favorites. So this is green gold. Can you guess what the color might be on black? Can you get any guesses over there? And my brush is a bit wet. All right, it's going to be gold on black. And it's different than the other gold. They're all just slightly different. And there is gold in a couple of these, but the golds are different. Like this one's a bit brassier. This one's a bit softer. Okay, I'm going to do one more color. Let's do a pink blue. And here's another one. We'll see which color it is on white. I got to clean my brush real quickly for you. And this is fun. I really think I could sit and make these paint swatches all day. Okay, this one's blue on the white, and you can see it's very pretty. Very, very pretty blue. Love that. So maybe the name is switched on a couple. They're going to keep you guessing. You're just going to have to buy them and see what it's going to turn up. Oh my goodness. How cool is that? Same exact paint, just put on a different color. So all of these are side by side, the color on white and the color on black. Aren't those cool? Are there any others you want to see? I mean, we're already starting late, but if, let's see, there was a yellow blue that's really cool. Oh, I gotta show you the violet green. Okay, we need to look at this one. These, Finn actually taught with these at Art Venture in California. We flew some in just for that. If you've never done an Art Venture, that's the whole fun of it, is you get the products first and you get to play with it. So this one's a soft green on the white. So we're gonna see violet coming up, right? Oh my goodness. Check that out. Oh, that is so cool. How fun is that? Okay, I don't have time to do all 8 of them, but what I will do, for you guys being so patient, I will finish my swatches and label them and put them up on Facebook in the Live with Prima group. Give me a day to do that though, okay? So what I wanted to show you was you get one color on white, you get another color on black, but, okay, where did I put my other swatch? I have another swatch that I painted tan. Here we go. So I was curious if white and black, we see what they do, but what happens if you take these colors and you put them on a tan? So I'm just going to pull out that violet gold again. It's the one we just used. And I'm going to take that color and just put it on like a medium colored surface. It's not light, it's not dark. And I think the results aren't quite as shocking. We're going to line them up. So this is, I keep losing my names. Sorry about that. Violet green on black, on tan, and on white. You seriously get at least 3 different colors in each of these bottles. So switch out your base color and try these and you will get multiple colors of paint. I like it on the brown because it's a soft violet. It's more violet than green. So it's kind of cool. All right. Any questions on the Opal Magic paints? They are acrylic. They have great coverage. They are shimmery. Each one is shimmery. You get a ton in the bottle. It's 50 milliliter or 0.17 ounces. There are 8 different Opal Magics. And I wanted to show you just really quickly, these are the Opal Magics. They're all like pastel on white, but we also came out with the Art Alchemy that are not opal. We have like rich turquoise. I like to show the bottoms because I think the colors really pop then. Just very, very fun colors. Now these don't switch on black and white, but they are very pigmented, so they're great for painting anything you want to paint, okay? And I did some color swatches of the regular Art Alchemy. Like, ignore that one, I named it the wrong name. It's really steampunk copper. There's royal red, patina, beautiful eggplant, and dark velvet colors. And then we have some of our brand new ones. We just did a mid-release, rusty red, and ancient coin. People are laughing. I messed up. It's like, if you're gonna write your name of your color swatch, make sure you get the right bottle in front of you. So I had the wrong one. There is a brass hardware. It's right here, and that is not it. So anyway, all right, we're gonna try and jump into the class now and work a little magic with the Opal Magics. So I have my bird frame right here. This is Metal Works, and I should actually show you the class. This is the finished sample, and I had added white gesso to it first and then put the Opal Magic on, but I think the Metal Works frame is a matte enough finish. We can just put the paint right on there. So we're going to pull it apart, we're going to decorate it, and then we're going to have some fun. And I do have a little secret on this frame. I put a Lumi in there and adhere the base on the back so you can turn this on. I know the lights go kind of crazy. It's not quite that yellow in real life. It's very pretty, and it's all lit up, and you have your lights kind of tucked in behind things. Really fun. Okay? So it's sitting over here. It's going to blink on and off the whole time. So let's get down to business and have some fun with this. So what I'm going to do first is just pop the back off. This was a Metal Works Birdcage. We have two of them available. The other one is smaller and is more of a dark brown rust color. So it has tabs on the back. I just use an old room key to pop those up. You can take that out and really make this project 3D. It has, I just want to pull this out of the baggie. It has a cute little bird in there. Adorable, right? And this one, we'll glue this on later. We need to color that first. Okay, and let's go ahead and cut the tag off. And we'll get to business. All right, Delana, do you need the number on that? I'm just going to set this aside, and we're going to work on this back part first. So what I did is I took light paste, and I took a stencil. You can use any stencil you want. But, you know, it's a Birdcage, and I have this adorable stencil that's brand new by Prima that I thought was so cute. I just think it fits so well in with this whole scheme. Now, you do have to cut off part of the bird image, but I really want these two birds to stand out. And I'm going to cover this bottom. It's going to be covered up with flowers. So basically, kind of figure out where you want it. It's the birdie nest stencil, and we're going to go ahead and use the light paste, which I love because it dries so quickly. So go ahead and grab some, put it on here. This is probably my most used stencil, which you can tell. And I know I'm putting white on white. It's okay. What we're going to do is once it dries, we're going to come back and catch that raised surface with some of the Art Alchemy paints. And it just adds a really fun element in the background. All right, so that was, how easy was that? I'm kind of getting off camera here. we'll try to get back in center here. Okay, so we're going to stencil this, and we're going to just let that air dry while we paint the rest of the birdcage. You do need to like clean your stencil off, of course. Wet wipes were great for that. And I have a little trick on the sides too. I don't like the paste drying, so I don't want to have like the little pieces sticking out on the side, so I always take my finger and kind of smooth that out and get that extra paste that was sticking off of there. So there is the image. It's really fun, it's really cute, and it fits the theme really well. Wouldn't this be perfect for a wedding? I think it would. Okay, so we're going to set this aside to dry, and I'm just going to clean my stencil real quickly because it will dry by the time the show ends. And we can't have that because it's the only birdie stencil I have. Okay, pretty good. All right, so the next thing we want to do is to go ahead and start coloring this. And this is where your creativity and your preference comes into play. You can pick any colors you want. Now, I went with blue on my original the original birdcage. I picked out blues and yellows, but I am switching the flower color this time, and you guys are going to have to take a vote. I don't know if I want peach or the pink, but I think it doesn't matter what color Opal Magic we use. I think they're all going to be really pretty. So some of these are missing. I may have to go with the pink. It's 581893. These are the Esperanza. They are probably my most favorite flowers because they're so usable. All right, I'll just show you the peach because it's so pretty. But I think we're going to have to go with this because I need these extra flowers. And I stole them off of that one for something else. But look how cute it is. It already comes already put together. This is going to end up here. And then we'll spread these other ones around. Very, very cool. Very fun. So I think we'll pick this color. It has a bit of pink. And then for some contrast, we'll want a little bit of green. And I think we should pull in some yellow. I'm looking for the lilac. I don't know if that will work well. Let's try these colors right here. I did use the blues on the other one to kind of pull it together. And it was really, really pretty. But we'll have fun and we'll paint around with these, and that's where this is so fun. You can just do what you want and the colors kind of work really well together. So it doesn't matter where you put them or what you use. Now I'm going randomly here and there with these colors. I don't want it to be a solid green or a solid pink. So you're just going to have fun with this. And, you know, on camera, these pastels have a harder time showing up. I know that. I apologize for that. In person, they're absolutely beautiful. So I think I got enough green on. And while I have the green out, we could totally go in and add a little bit of luster to these leaves. If you don't want everything shimmery, you can skip this step. And I'm not going to do every leaf, just here and there. And I do know I need to color some leaves. So let me grab my box of leaves. I may want some extra leaves in, and I did this with the other birdcage. I pulled out, we have these new box flowers, and this one has tons of leaves. The white leaves look beautiful too, of course. But if you wanted to color and get a bit more green in there so there's more contrast in your design, this is the way I would go. I would take some of these and Opal Magic them. Okay, let me just get my box. They have like 4 stickers sealing it so it doesn't fall apart. We're going to pull out just a couple. Let's see, I think I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on my other one. do some small and mediums. There we go. We won't be too fussy. And these are going to be so fast to paint. You know what I like is when they're not totally solid, but you leave a little bit of the white sticking out. For one, it leaves the embossing design, because it's not so wet with paint. It keeps the form of the leaf a little bit better. Plus, I think it just has a lot more contrast. Of course, you could go in and ink the edges and get a touch of antique on this. If you don't really like all the pastel look, you could do that. Am I blurring again? Okay, she's asking the paint colors, and I should have said that. So this green is green gold. On white, it's going to be green, and if I had black, it would be a gold color. Let me just show you. I had actually painted a black birdcage with black gesso, and this was going to be a bonus project so that I could finish this one and do a little mini series with it for Live with Prima. So I'm just going to add little touches here and there so you can see the green gold goes very green on the white leaves. I'm trying not to catch the light. I have a full bank of windows facing my studio, so if I turn this way, you get the glare from the window. But on black, it turns a gold, and it's a really, really pretty gold. And you can see the color come out and how it picks up the design of that bird cage. So on the white, it was green. Maybe go this way. And on the black, it's a beautiful, beautiful gold. Okay. So with some of these colors, I might come over here and accent this gold or this black bird cage. I love this. I didn't think I'd like it at first, but I am loving that darker project. Hopefully I'll get that done and we could get that up on Live with Prima or Facebook in the next couple days. All right, I painted enough. So that's green gold. We have our leaves done. And now we're going to go in and accent some of the flowers. Let's just set these to dry. I'd already put a bit of shimmer on the green part, but I think we will take the pink. It's called Aqua Rose. And we'll accent the flowers just a little bit. And this is so pretty. I'm just going to, I call it kissing, just touch the edges of the big rose. I don't want the whole thing super shimmery. I just want it to catch the light here and there. And we could totally do that with the butterfly as well. Just add little touches. I had a lot of paint on my brush. Just catch little bits. So when your project's on display and the light hits it perfectly, it's going to shimmer in the light. And I know that can be hard to see, especially with my camera in Ustream not wanting to focus today. But we have these two other flowers we want to accent. I am going tone on tone. I think it looks super, super cute like this. But you could totally mix this up and add like a lavender touch to the tips of these flowers, or maybe a bit of yellow. And I try to keep the cover a little bit cleaner than this so that it doesn't dry. Okay, so we have our leaves and we have our flowers done. Let's add a little bit more color to the bird cage. And I just put that Aqua Rose away. I'm going to pull that back out because I want some pink on my bird cage as well. And this was where you just apply the colors you like, and it's just going to be fun and very feminine and a nice mix of pastels. And this Opal Magic works really, really well on the metal because it has a matte finish. If you were going to put this on other metals that are glossier, I would just suggest putting a little bit of gesso on it first to kind of give it a little bit of tooth so the paint will stick and not rub off. I know it's hard to see on this, so I don't want to spend a lot of time fussing with the paint. I think the green showed up the best. And the pink is so soft. It's not really, really bright. Okay, so we have that done. We have our flowers done. What I'm going to do is just zap this, the back real quickly so our paste gets dry. I really should take some black flowers or darker flowers and show you. Oh, this is really wet. I like just put my finger right in that bird. He now has a fingerprint in him. Okay, we'll let that sit for a second. Someone was suggesting painting black flowers, and you're totally right. When you take that Opal Magic and you put it on black, this is what you get. You get, here's the same color on white. It's very soft and pastel, and there it is on black. They are super, super cool effects. Okay, and black butterflies, oh, that would look so amazing. You know what? I have one punched out right here. Let's do it. We're waiting for that to dry anyway. Let's get some black gesso. And this is from Finnabare's new Essential Pack, which I love, love, love the tubes. They're so less messy. You can squeeze right out onto a brush and not have to dip into a bottle. So there we got our black butterfly. I'm so glad someone brought this up. I think it's so cool. It's dry. Gesso dries pretty quickly. What color should we do this one? Is there a certain color that you guys wanted to see? We haven't done a blue yet. We could pull out the pink blue. What do you think of that one? So it looks like it's blue on white. We'll just try that to show you for sure. Yeah, this one's blue on the white paper. You put it on the black and it's totally a different color. How cool is that? Oh my gosh, it just changed the whole thing. There you go. It is definitely pink. And it's a very shimmery, cool pink. Not your pastel pink. Okay, little side trip there, but I think that is so cool. So definitely use your die cuts or color water. This is watercolor paper. I love to use that with our die cuts because it holds up to our art medium so well. We might have to use that on the project. All right, so I want to get going. I have to color this first. It's pretty good. So here's what I did. I took paper towel, and I think I'm going to do the green. It pops up the best off of the background. And what I did is just took a bit of the green. I know this is so technical. It's not really. Pat out some of that so it's not super wet. And I went in there and I just tried to catch the raised parts with the green. It is okay if you get it on parts that aren't raised, but a A sponge might actually work better. I don't know. I use paper towel for everything. And I just caught the raised, almost embossed type edges. And it put the green on the pattern. Can you guys see how it's catching that? I loved this, and after I did it, I thought, you know what? I wonder if you could have just colored the paste with the paint. And you, of course, are going to be very detailed and do a much better job than me on camera because I am kind of rushing it. But you'll catch all the raised pieces and design and color that any color you want. And isn't that amazing? So I caught it. It's green. In my original, it's much darker. Let's see if you can catch a camera angle. You can kind of see the birds in there. They're much darker green. So I just played with it a little bit more than I am here. But I just kind of caught that with a sponge or paper towel. And it's not going to be perfect. That's okay. But it just adds a really fun image and some dimension to the back. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to string our lights on and then start putting this together. And the lights, these are Lumis, and this is a 3-foot Lumi. Are we doing okay, Delana? That stencil, the birdie stencil, is one of my favorites. I have used that so much. I probably need to set it aside so people don't get sick of it. When I get a Lumi, I unwind it, and then it has a little paper inside. It has 2 batteries in there, and I've already taken it out so that it will work. There it is, lit up. So we're going to just unlight it real quick, turn it off real quickly. You know, this one might be way too long. It is really long. I thought I had a 1-footer. Let me check real quickly. I think it's 3. Well, you know what? It's the one we're going to go with. So here is the plan. You just want to... We're just going to have to wrap a lot. You really want to just wrap it around, untangle it. They usually come really nicely. You can just pull them apart. So I'm going to divide mine in half. I know I'm getting off screen here. Half's going to go on the bottom, and half is going to go on top. So just so I kind of have a divide here. Otherwise, I think I'm going to go loopy with this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is start stringing it. I'm going to start this half right here, and all I did was go in and out of the Birdcage sections. I'm trying to make this a little bit smaller so I can actually get it in and out of here. This is kind of a mess on TV. So, I really should have just stuck with the smaller one. This one's really going to be lit up. You want to just weave it in and out. So you'll have the lights on here. So I'm going to do the whole top with this part. And then the other half of the wire, I'm going to do the bottom. And you can use the little tabs as holding spots, which I'm going to use that right now just to kind of hold that down and start wrapping this. This one is going to be so lit up compared to my other one. And you kind of want these tucked in so they're a little bit discreet. So that's what I'm doing right now, is figuring out where the wire needs to be so that it's not really visible. but it's so cute when you light it up. All right, any questions on our loomies? This is going to take just a minute to do. And I really think I might leave a bunch of it uncurled in the bottom. I think that would be so cute. And I am using the little tabs to hold the light. I think I want a couple lights right there. And then we'll come around, trying to catch so the bulbs are actually showing and not hidden behind the tabs. Normally that 1 foot loomie I'd be done with, and you see how much more I have. Normally I would be done with it. So we're going to have a lot of lights in this one. It's going to be crazy fun. So I might actually just go ahead and use this one, this section, to do the whole frame and then put the rest inside with the flowers. I think that'd be really pretty. So if you can get these to, if you're okay with fiddling around with the lights a little bit, yours are going to be absolutely stunning. I am just going to come around with this in and out so I get a couple lights on each piece of metal that goes across. And again, yours are going to be perfect. You can just wind them wherever you need them so the wires don't show. I was a lot more careful with my other one. And now I'm going to go into the bottom. And catch these bottom pieces. And I want as many lights as I can kind of showing there. Okay, let's wrap this one around right here. All right, so I have the main part done. And you can fasten the loomies anywhere you want right there. But what I am going to do is kind of curl them in here so they kind of stay put. Now I would glue those down with flowers here and there so that the wires show less and you get it exactly where you want it. The rest of the wire, I'm going to bring that down and fasten it on that tab, and I want it to go inside so that I have a lot of lights in here. I think this would be really pretty when you turn it on. Let's try that. It'd be really lit up. Okay, so these come in 3 foot and 1 foot. And all I did was once I got the wires done, I glued it on the back of the this metal sheet. And so I let it hang out until I had all my flowers in, and then I glued it there. And it's very, very convenient. You can barely see the wire, and it pops on and on really easily that way. So we're going to pretend that that is done. And now what we're going to do is start adding the flowers in here. So what I did, and this is really simple. Thankfully, this is really simple. I used white flowers, and you can take any flowers you have. Our box flowers are perfect. And you're just going to create a garden in the bottom of your bird cage. And you can go ahead and paint some of these if you want, or you can just go for an all white. You could spray these. Think how fun they would be. So we're going to dump those out. There's a ton of them in there. And I'm actually going to use part of this to create a little rolled up section in the bottom to give some dimension. So I cut off just a little bit of a flap. You can also just use paper I'm going to make a couple rolls. And you know, you could do this with anything, any paper. All it's going to do is create a little bit of dimension in that back so that you use less flowers. Okay, so I started out by taking this and gluing some, okay, this might be really hard to show on camera. We want to glue some of the flowers to this back piece. And at any time you can set this down and see where it's going to show in relationship to the bird cage itself. Okay, so let's go ahead and just start adding some of those in. You can draw just, I would set maybe, I think I have 2 big ones like that. And this is a great way to use up some of those white flowers that you have a lot of, or any of the colored ones that you would like to add. If you have a wedding or a party where you need a certain color, this would be absolutely perfect for it. So I'm trying not to get too far out on the edge right there because it's going to be popped inside the bird cage. And then what I'm going to do is just fill in. We want to start our base. I am going to roll these little rollers. I don't know what to call these. You could also just use foam squares. These are just going to pop and add a little bit of dimension once we put the cage on and pop some of those flowers out at an angle. And I use 2 of them just like this. I'm sure there are other ways to do this, but you know, this was just using packaging instead of throwing it away was so simple for me. All right, so we're going to have 2 of those for about right here. And if you don't roll them too tightly, you can squish them down if they're sticking out too far. We'll adjust that once we know how much dimension we have. So when you add a flower now, once that actually sticks, you can see it's popping out already. And you don't waste as many flowers filling in this space. So I'm just going to hold this a second. We're going to take our, pretend this is all wired and done. Kind of set this on here. And yeah, that's going to look good. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and glue some more flowers like right here. If you guys have a question, let me know. I am trying to catch part of the chat, but I get busy creating and I may miss some. So I know this looks like kind of a weird hack, if you want to call that. But you know what? Flowers are pretty and we don't want to waste any. And we just are going to have a fake filler back there so that we're not wasting flowers. And what I did is filled this up as much as I could, and then I put the little frame on top, because once you get that on, then you are working with, let's try this one, then you're working with the metal frame, and you kind of got to get your fingers in there, and it was a little bit more difficult than just working plain like this. So all we're doing is creating a really fun base. And it's like a huge floral cage. And you can go ahead and, I kind of had it swooping up on this side. So I'm just going to add a little tiny flower right here. We kind of want to mix the large and the small. Okay, and then I didn't do my butterflies, and I should have done these, but these are wire butterflies from Finnabair, and I added them to my other project, but they come with three large, 3 medium, and 3 small, And you know what? I don't want this color. I think I want them kind of silvery, since we're going with cooler tones. So I'm taking Art Alchemy Silver Spoon. I'm going to paint them real quickly. You guys okay with that? And that's what I love is, I love that rusty color. I think it'd be so cool with maybe the black Birdcage. But I don't think it's going to work as well with these soft tones. So we're going to go ahead and just take the Art Alchemy paints and use that to color these so that our project works better. Seriously, just slap it on. This stuff is like magic. It covers so well. And my brush is slightly wet, which thins that paint out a little bit more than I wanted. But you can see the coverage is really, really good. Look, that took like 5 seconds. Whoops. And you know what? If that dried, I could totally go back in there with one of the Opal Magic if I wanted to. I think I'm going to leave it though. I kind of like that silvery color. Okay, so we have this going. And we want our little birdie. And I'm thinking he needs to match our pink flowers a little bit. What do you guys think? Let's just see. We'll paint him. That's not really pink. Really pink. We might mix that with... Is there another pink? Let's just have fun with it. We can always paint him more if we don't like what color. Oh, that is so pretty. This is rose gold. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. And I know I have dirty fingers, and they're all over Mr. Birdie. We're just going to set him to dry over with the butterflies. And I know we're painting everything around us right now. So we've painted and added paste to the back. We've painted the metal frame. We've added a bit of sparkle to the flowers. We're going to go ahead and so what I'm doing is looping the wire in here. Now, if I had another hour, I would totally do this in a more professional manner. And I want to leave about 3 or 4 inches off the tail. And this is all subjective to the look you like. The wires can be moved around, of course. So you could put them behind the flowers or tuck them in and out of the flowers, which I may do. I may take this back apart later and do that. But what I'm going to do right now is just kind of put these in. Let's do this side first. This back just slides back on. I just have to get all my dimension in there before I start squeezing the tabs. And you'll see once I put that on, it's harder to work in here. And I may just leave this side off for now, but you see I left a couple inches so that I can glue this on here later and have enough room. So I've glued, or I've not glued, but I've pulled back these tabs just on 2 sides. And now what I'm going to do is kind of push those wires so they're not really blocking the flowers. I like the lights, but I don't want the wires showing as much. And again, fuss with it as much as you want. We're going to start building up more flowers right here though. If you can see, the bottom is not covered, but you can see the cardboard in there, how much it saved us from wasting about 6 extra flowers. So what we're going to do right now, prop this up a little bit, is get in here with some of the medium and smaller flowers and cover up this base. And that's it. You're just filling in the space now with the rest of these boxed flowers. And it's actually really fun to do. you can leave some of the flowers kind of hanging out, or like this one I'm sure is, I'm going to have some coming out like that. And it's so pretty because even if you put a flower on top of a light, it shines through that and lights up. It's unbelievable. It's really, really pretty. So I know Delana's got a wedding coming up. She needs to make a couple of these. Now I'm covering up the last little bit of that cardboard I could see from the packaging right over here on this side. You could see it. We're going to cover it up and kind of help anchor some of those, the flowers or the lights as well. Okay, so I have most of the flowers in here. I'm going to tuck that little tiny one in, and that's why I love these box flowers. You get every size and shape of roses, from those really big ones to these little tiny ones, and you wonder where you would put these. Well, they work in those little spots perfectly, like over on this side. So we can go ahead and like tuck that in right here and cover up that hole that was left. Brilliant. Love it. Okay, I probably would fuss more if this, you know, if I wanted it perfect, but just for the sake of trying to finish a little bit, what we're going to do now is go ahead and glue our swag up on the top of the project. Let me lay that down flat now. And all I do, oh, it looks like this leaf got bent up. Just put enough glue on where the leaves and the wire are so that it sticks great. And I kind of want that bent down so it curves naturally with the Birdcage. We are gluing on metal, and I find Fabri-Tac works really well, but you could try like zip dry. Some people like hot glue. I tend to burn myself, so I don't really like hot glue. And then this swag is going to come down, and we're going to kind of build an arch right here. So I'm just going to kind of dry fit this first, and that's what I normally like to do. I think I want the butterfly going that way this time. I think we'll do it that way. So I'm going to kind of put some of the bigger pieces on. And again, this is a great way to kind of tuck some of the wires in. If you need to glue them down, you can glue your flowers to kind of hold them in place. And I also have little flowers. These guys are going to fill in any little space at the end. So we're going to start with our large flowers and then work our way to the smaller ones. And you know what? I have, my butterfly is almost dry, and I know there's a lot of butterflies on this, but I think that's okay. I think I'm going to stick this guy right here, but to give him more surface to be glued on, let's see how this looks. Let's go this way. I'm going to get some leaves glued on there, and then that gives me more surface to glue the butterflies and any other papers on. As you can see, there are only 2 metal bars right there, and it's kind of hard to get some of those elements tacked down exactly where you want them. But I find if I add some leaves here and there, it'll give me that surface to do that. So I think now, let's put this one down. Isn't this the hardest part? Picking out which flowers and where you want it to go. Okay. Normally I'm not that indecisive. So this one really doesn't even have a surface to glue. Let me spread that glue out a little bit more. So we're going to try and catch a little bit of the metal and a little bit of the leaf. And once it's there, it'll stick. Are you guys doing okay? Am I boring you to death? Now on the butterfly, we're going to spread a little bit of glue on him so we catch enough of the surface so he doesn't fall off. just give them a second to hold on and catch. It'll really glue well on the paper. And I might tip this up a bit so you can see how the side is coming together. We want to put a little bit more paper in right here and a little bit more color. Is that out of focus now? I think I just screwed it up. Okay. I just got to make sure it's got something it's sticking to. Are you guys seeing okay? And then I have these other leaves, and this is a great place to come in and tuck in some greenery here and there so you create a whole vine coming up the piece. And Prima's flowers and their leaves, they actually stick really well to this birdcage. I was surprised. I thought I might lose some because you know how gluing to metal can be sometimes. Now I have a little spot right here. I might go in and add a flower there. And that's what I was saying about kind of filling in the holes and having that flower garden that's inside growing out. Normally I would let this dry a lot more before I was fussing with it, but I got a nice swag of leaves coming down and flowers. I have one leaf left, and I think I'm gonna tuck it in here like that so it is kind of growing over the edge of this. You see that Fabri-Tac stayed flexible? That's why I love that stuff. Any questions so far? I know watching me glue flowers right now might be a little boring. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so these little tiny flowers. Okay, that one has 2 diamonds stuck to it. Let me find, I think I'm going to use the ones with the wood. We're just going to go in here and I'll show you what I mean about kind of just filling in the little tiny spots where it looks like there might be a little hole or you need just a little bit more of a flower, like where it would grow naturally. And I think those are really fun like that. So this section right here, I feel like it needs something. So we might add just a couple of flowers, and that will help that butterfly rest on that little beaded center. Let's stick one right here. All right, so this is where you're just going to play and have fun. Fill in as much as you can. You're going to have tons of flowers left with these 2 boxes. And then I think we need to bring at least one of those little flowers down here. I'm getting onto the metal now and it doesn't want to, it's really little. It doesn't want to stay put. Just like a little person. All right, so do you guys have any questions so far? It's almost done. I have a couple more metal butterflies to add. And what I did is I bent it so it looks more dimensional. This buddy is going to go inside. And I could have glued him or her earlier. But I want part of the wing to stick out. So I'm just sticking a little bit of foam in there. To pop it up a bit. We'll put some glue. And this is the tricky part. We're just tucking it in here. It would help. I might have to bend this flower a bit. We want it to be kind of coming out right there. So he's behind the flower a little bit, but his wing, whoops. Don't push that hard. because I didn't actually clip this side in. You might want to hold that. So this little butterfly, it's really hard to see him, but he's tucked in there. He's trying to escape his little bird cage, and he's in there enjoying the flowers. I know I have one more little butterfly. So this little guy, we're going to bend him. And we're going to go ahead. He's going to be up. You know, I put the other one on the inside at the top. Whoops. Can you see him up there? And I think it looks great because you can see things that you may not see them right away, but at different angles you can see different things. I think I might put him down here. I think I need more down here. And that's okay. Put him where you want him. He's just going to be down here exploring this little rose. All right. So I have, it's almost done. It's just filled with white flowers. Has a bit of the pink and some of the butterflies that we colored with the Art Alchemy paints. There's a lot of shimmer going on. A lot of shimmer. And all we really have left to the project is to add the bird on. And where did Mr. Birdie go? So he's really heavy. And what I did is I created a little nest for him. So he was resting on the flowers and on the metal. And I did have to kind of hold him for a bit last time. So find where you want him. Put in enough glue. And then you're going to kind of have to pull your flower back. Get him nestled so he's sitting on one of the metal pieces. And then arrange your flowers around him. And if you need to put a little support behind him, you might want to like throw in one of these smaller roses so that he's not tilting. In fact, I think I should do that. So he doesn't tilt backwards. These roses are really, really sturdy. And they will hold anything in place. See, there's a gap there where I think he could fall backwards. If I stick a little rose, it wedges him perfectly. So there you go. He's hiding back there. He got out of his bird cage and doesn't want anyone to know. All right, I think we're done. I don't know if I missed anything on my original one, but you will then take your wire, once Mr. Birdie and your butterflies are all set, you would take your on and off switch right here, and all I did was pull off this top piece. Go my batteries. There's a battery in each. You would glue this part onto the back so that you can switch out your batteries really easily, but this piece is connected. And you know, I have tried tucking it in and gluing it behind flowers. It's not really easy to turn on and off that way. But you could then take and glue it to the back right here. Once you're all done and you've clipped everything where you want it, then glue it in place. And then it's super easy to flip it on and off, and it's super easy to replace the battery that way. If it's tucked into the flowers, you might have a little bit of trouble switching that out. Okay, that's it. So we have our pink little bird cage right here, and I'm gonna like swoosh everything off. And there's our blue one that keeps turning on because it's sitting on the battery. Let's just unscrew that. So which one do you guys like better? I really can't pick a favorite. Is it focused? I hope my camera didn't screw up. I am so sorry about the problems at the beginning, but here we go with the Birdcage filing. You got to see a bit of the Opal Magic and Art Alchemy and how they change color versus white or black, and even a bit on brown. So you get 3 colors out of every bottle. And I want to thank you for coming to Live with Prima today. I do have a couple announcements. I'll stop and give those announcements so people in the chat know what's coming up next. We do have Live with Prima classes twice a week, and we do complete projects, but we also started a new mini series, and I'm going to tell you about that. So stay tuned for that information. But thank you for joining me and sticking with me on the Art Alchemy Opal Magic and the magical little birdcage. I hope you guys had fun and learned a lot.